Sports podcast.
You're joining us on the All Sports podcast with me, Matt, and Joel. Hi, Joel.
Hello, Matt.
Good, thanks. And James, how are you, James?
Yeah, I'm all good, guys. Nice to see you both.
Good to see you too, mate. You do say every week, how are you, Matt? And I just give a generic platitude back. So I thought, might as well just assume you said it in your head.
I left it so that James could say that. Yeah.
I enjoyed
Nice.
silence instead.
But I'll keep going. So today we are going to cover off a little bit of a football roundup from the Premier League this weekend. Big fixtures at the top of the table. Following on from our private jet, PJs in Premier League, NFL and whatnot. We'll cover that a little bit. Got a couple of quiz questions for you guys. Just a couple. Bouncebackability. It was a weekend of bounce backs in rugby, so we'll cover that off. And anything else that we pick up along the way. So how's that sound as a schedule? Yeah?
Bouncebackability coined by
Ian Dowie.
Yeah, nice.
Some great knowledge, that.
Yeah.
In 2000 and...
Oh, come on. What, is it a Palace?
Two, three or four, I'm going to say. I'm going to go 2002.
And now in the dictionary.
In the dictionary, and is regularly used in most, certainly in football, but is actually used as a term in children's education to describe their resilience. I was looking at some things around bounce back ability, and I searched for bounce back, like I'm doing right now, and verbally processing it.
It feels disrespectful to say to Ian Dowie, but that might be his greatest contribution, his bounce back ability. If he's got into the dictionary with that.
Yeah, Resolution Foundation. You've got Business Bites. You've got Welcome to Primary School Rock. Celebrate achievement when children learn from their mistakes.
What?
How's your bounce back ability? HR Magazine. I mean, it has it's transcended sport.
Yeah.
And is into the business world and education.
Incredible.
Ian Dowie, Plato, Socrates.
Yeah.
You can't argue with facts.
On the subject of children's education, we went to a parents' evening a couple of weeks ago, and my son and the teacher were having a conversation that I had to ask for clarity on because I did not understand what they were talking about. He's 5, for context. They were talking about diagraphs and trigraphs. And I didn't know what they were, so I had to ask.
Wow.
And what have you learned? Can you pass on that knowledge to the listeners?
A digraph is 2 letters that make a sound, and a trigraph is 3 letters that make a sound. PH, TH.
Yeah.
I can't think of a trigraph right now, but
My big question is, was it the teacher that explained it or your child?
The teacher. I was happy for both. I've been either of them to enlighten me.
Hey, every day's a school day.
Yeah.
Should we go into some football fixtures then?
I think we should.
I think one hell of a weekend for Premier League football.
Well, yeah, and the fixture I think that was supposed to be the biggest and the best fixture was never going to be, was it? It was like
I'm not sure if you guys watched it, but I was sat there post-Easter Sunday dinner thinking, yeah, this is great. I've had my dinner, get on the sofa, watch the game. I was struggling to keep my eyes open for a lot of it. It was like watching 2 identical teams go up against each other, matched in every single way.
Yeah, it was like, and for a long time, I just assumed that I was missing something. Like for quite a lot of the game, I thought this must be good because these 2 teams are good, and I'm just not into it. I'm not focusing or whatever. And then midway through the second half, I was just like, yeah, this is bad. Like, I think there was I know Haaland's been getting some attention, and certainly did after the game from Roy Keane. But yeah, I have to say, like, he looked ungainly. Like, I think that's the term that I would.
Was he kept quiet?
He was kept very quiet. Yeah, Saliba and Gabriel both.
I think being called League Two standard I found quite offensive, but
yeah,
he does look miles below what everyone else in the team was providing. But I actually think if you think of that game personally, I don't think Saka played very well. I don't think Foden played very well. They're just the two teams nullified each other perfectly. There was a few chances, like when you see teams that do well at the Etihad, they're playing counter-attacking football and they are rapid on the break. And the chance that I think Arsenal got where they should have made more of it fell to the wrong player completely. It was Trossard running through on goal, and he just doesn't have the pace to get behind.
He just couldn't get away.
And that was just in the last 15 minutes, wasn't it? Like before that, and I think Gabriel Jesus, and the reason why Man City got rid of him is because he's a natural. There are two things that make you a natural striker. One is finishing, and one is positioning. He always gets in the right position. Yeah. So does Nketiah, and neither of them can finish. And they don't have the confidence to do it either. It's the extra touches they take. It's like you're in the perfect position. Just swing a foot at it would have been a better option than taking that extra touch, getting blocked.
Yeah, he loves to run into danger, and there's 4 players waiting for him rather than either shooting early or finding a pass. Jesus does. It was quite painful to watch at times on Sunday. But I just couldn't believe how it's like neither team wanted to lose, which makes sense. But I've never seen City play like that at home, where they're happy to be contained, they're happy to just pass it around. They didn't really create that much for me. I think Haaland missed one decent chance. It was just a terrible game to watch.
Are they just gaming the rest of the season, though, that their fixtures are more favourable than Arsenal's?
Yeah, it's not just Arsenal, though, is it?
Yeah.
It's Liverpool.
They've still got to play. Yeah. Liverpool's got, if Liverpool win every game now, they win the title. Like, you can't give a team like Liverpool that chance. So I thought for me they would have tried to win the game, but like I say, City always finish the season strong.
City have only got 2 risky games, probably, maybe 3. They've got they're away to Brighton. Away to Fulham last game of the season isn't it's not a guarantee.
Well, I feel like Fulham are exactly the team that you want to play.
Yeah,
they're not playing for anything. Yeah.
I mean, they got beat on Saturday pretty convincingly, didn't they?
They're getting beat tonight.
No, Fulham was Sheffield United. Fulham was they should have been beaten by.
Oh yeah, they pegged it back, didn't they? But yeah, they
had controversy in Sheffield United had one of the most perfect goals I've seen chalked off, and then Fulham scored 90 plus 14.
Why was it disallowed?
Don't know. Still don't know. Can't work it out.
I've seen it, and I'm a bit like, maybe I haven't seen the full thing, but I just don't know why it was disallowed.
Yeah, it just doesn't. To me, there'll be a reason about someone crossing over or interfering in play. That
I think I heard someone mention about a phase of play, so maybe something happened before. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the title race, I think it plays into Liverpool's hands perfectly. So I don't have the fixture in front of me, but
yeah, Liverpool got harder fixtures. I honestly think they have. They play
the last few games, though, right?
No, they've got to go away to United,
away to Everton. Those two teams,
they're away to away to Everton. They're away to West Ham. Yeah,
is like a green 2.
Those two teams will give I mean, I'll mention it later, but those two teams will give the extra 10% to make sure that Liverpool don't win the title.
You're right. Yeah, they are potentially sticky.
Yeah.
And last game of the season against Tottenham fighting for the top 4.
Is that last game of the season? No, I think is that TBC? Because Tottenham have 2 very easy games to finish.
Liverpool, Tottenham, Saturday, 4th. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, they've changed it. So it's Saturday, the 4th of May. But still. They're playing you guys. They're playing you guys. They're away to you on the 11th of May.
Yeah.
City haven't got Tottenham, have they? Is that what you're saying?
City do have Tottenham. Yeah. Or City
and Arsenal have got Tottenham as well.
Yeah, they all have to play Tottenham, and Villa have to play City. So they have to play all 3 of them as well. So they're going to have a big say in the race for the top 4, and the 2 teams competing. Well, I mean, United are still kind of there. I don't really want to write them off, but the teams competing for top four still have a big say in the title race as well. So there's going to be twists and turns. I feel like they both took quite a cautious approach. Guardiola's team selection, to me, taking out, not playing Grealish, not playing Doku, bringing in Kovacic. Like, he was looking for that kind of really solid, keep the ball, control the tempo of the game and stuff. I mean, from what I saw of the first half, like, Guardiola was like the most advanced attacking player, and it was like,
two teams playing four centre halves at the back. It was never going to be anything other than what we watched.
No,
but that top four race is as interesting as anything. I know you mentioned obviously Villa, Tottenham, but one as well came late to beat Luton. United probably aren't out of it. Any of those
because Villa and Spurs have got the games that they've got. And United, like, they could still, didn't they go on a bit of a mad run over Christmas time and February? Like, they were winning so many games. It feels like it's kind of come to an end now. But
yeah, I feel like they've got the hardest. Man United have got the hardest fixtures.
Tottenham's running is ridiculous.
Tottenham's hard, yeah.
Yeah, they've got.
They've got a game in hand, but it's away at Chelsea, who, I don't know, like, one day to the next, you don't know what you're getting from them.
Yeah, Tottenham have got to play. So they've got to play City, they've got to play Liverpool, they've got to play Chelsea. They've got to play Villa as well. You don't want that running when you're chasing top four.
Yeah,
they should have done it earlier in the season. They've had some terrible losses.
Yeah, European games starting up again. They're a factor. Spurs don't have that. So, in terms of the title race, to kind of wrap up, I think Liverpool were the big winners of the weekend. I think they've all got gimmies this midweek, haven't they? City against Villa is, potential, but Villa are missing some.
That's it. They're banana skins, aren't they?
Yeah, Watkins is out, and somebody else is out. Ramsey is out. Still no McGinn. McGinn's not back until the weekend, so it looks like that is going to be a very much quite a second string side, really. Villa do not have a good record at the Etihad. I think it's 13 years since they won there. So I
remember watching the game last season or the season before where...
last season, 2-0 up, absolutely cruising. Yeah. And then in the blink of an eye, and like as soon as they got the first one, you just knew they were going to get all three. And
AVB literally dragged them to a title.
Yeah.
Maybe not the same again this year.
So if I was Liverpool or Arsenal, I wouldn't be looking at that thinking Villa are going to do us a favour there. I don't think.
Still am. I should, but I will be.
Anything can happen.
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
And that's why we love football.
Exactly. Except for that game. Did not love that game.
What about other leagues? How are the lower leagues going at the minute, James? You've won the league. Then what happened?
I went to York on Friday. We lost, but I did back York, so I did the one thing you should.
I feel like that's a cardinal sin.
I actually didn't feel good about it. I had confessed to my family that I'd done it, and I had my brothers buying into the bet to deleverage my own risk. And I was like, I can do that now. We're all in it together. But I had the most footballer's view of York in the world. So I got the train there. I don't know if you've been to York Station, but there's a nice little pub on the platform. I went in that boozer and went straight from there to the ground and straight back to the train station. So Good Friday in York, which should have been a nice exploring the city, enjoying the sun. Didn't. I could have been anywhere. And then terrible.
My only reference for York City is it was about 15 years ago, and I can't remember who they were playing, but there was a lot of crowd trouble. I don't know what happened, but I can't remember if it was at York or somewhere else, and like the away fans, I think that's what it was. I think it was at York, and the away fans were throwing coins onto the pitch.
The away fans?
Yes.
Like, are you Villa?
No, nothing to do with Villa. This is just my only reference for York City. So the away fans throwing coins, and in the interview after the game, the York City manager at the time, I don't know who it was, and I think I've tried to find this interview since and not been able to find it. But yeah, he was like, "You're throwing bloody pound coins." He couldn't get his head.
Where's he from?
Just from down
struggling
south.
with the accent there a bit.
Yeah. I just had to try. But
York was a good day. But then we played again yesterday to the third bottom team, got turned over 3-1 at home. We hadn't lost at home all season. We've played Portsmouth, we've played Leyton Orient, hadn't lost at home. And then 23rd team in our league come and beat us 3-1. I actually think it highlights how large the gap is of motivation. That 10% extra of motivation makes such a difference on a pitch. Like, you can see our players are probably carrying some injuries and, they're not really that bothered. We're on 95 points and we're getting turned over other teams that should never beat us. Painful watch, and I wish I hadn't have gone.
Once they've done the job, they've probably had a bit of a party, haven't they?
Yeah, I know that was like 10 days ago. How much time can you use for that excuse?
But like I say,
four points in 5 games.
How does that motivation come back once you've celebrated it?
Yeah, our manager is an absolute. I'm not sure you've ever seen an interview from our manager, but he is like an angry scouser, and he shouts so much he loses his voice during the interview. So it's like interesting.
Oh, it's the former Wigan manager, isn't it?
Yeah, Paul Cook. So if you ever see his interview, he's like proper loses his voice halfway through.
Yeah.
How is it? You've done well to have him. How long has he been yours?
He was our manager in 2013. He first came to us, took us up to League One playoffs, where we got knocked out in the semi-final when he left us, and then he came back 2 years ago when we had a bit of a manager mishap. To take us, he is. Honestly, they should build a statue of that man. But he is. He's a League One manager managing a National League team, so it's not quite right.
Did very well at Wigan, didn't he? And then did he get a big job that didn't go very well?
Yeah, he was. So he was Wigan manager, got them up, and then obviously they get ripped apart by administration. He still nearly kept them up.
Around, didn't he?
And then when I don't know if they went down at the end of the season, they literally couldn't afford to pay him. So he had to step aside, and he got the Ipswich job. And he cleared out all the Ipswich team, signed quite a lot of players that are there now and succeeding. So I know he got sacked from Ipswich, but I think if you speak to a lot of their fans, he did a lot of the good work that their performance is based on.
Well, I remember that summer they brought in an incredible amount of players. I remember that because Louis Barry went there from Villa on loan.
Stop, wasn't he?
Yes, he is. Yeah, just back from an injury, I think. And he couldn't get a game, and they were doing really badly. Yeah,
it's actually a link between Chesterfield and Villa in my timeline.
Mm-hmm.
When I was probably 15 or 16, he signed a Jordan Barry from us.
Oh yeah, of course. He was so bad.
We never knew how we sold him for that much money. He was just like a big athletic.
Yeah, he was a Paul Lambert signing. We went through a bit of a phase under Lambert of going and getting. Football league players, young football league players, basically, and the ones that worked were few and far between. Ashley Westwood was pretty good. We got him from Crewe.
Yeah, like 200,000-300,000. I was like, wow, worth that much money? And here's a bit of info for you. He's currently playing for Mansfield Town, who are going to win the league, and he's playing right back.
Is he? Yeah, I mean, he was not a striker, but that's what. He never looked like one, but that's where he played for Villa in the 1 or 2 appearances that he made.
Yeah, always
reminded me of like the days when Stoke just beat teams up in the Premier League. The Rory Delap days. Yeah,
his family live near me actually, and he's actually he's managing abroad somewhere.
He's involved.
Do you know how old he is? Guess how old he is.
40. His kid plays for City.
His son plays for City, and he's 20 or something. So
he's 47. Yeah, Liam Delap. Yeah,
Liam went to Eccleston. I think he came through the Derby Academy, and then signed
with City. Did he?
Yeah, he's obviously outrageously good. I think is it Hull on loan?
Injured though, I think he got a nasty injury earlier in the season because somebody's missing him. It might be Hull.
Yeah, Hull. Yeah,
but Rory Delap's long throws were deadly at the time. I don't know if you've heard the story. Tony Pulis told it on a podcast somewhere, and he said
he was on ours, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was here a couple of weeks ago. They were like out training, and that the Stoke players were just like seeing who could throw the ball the longest, and somehow they found out that Rory Delap could throw it like the field. Yeah. And one of the coaches had to go to Tony Pulis and go, have you seen what this guy's doing? And he goes, we'll just have to rechange their whole set piece strategy over Rory Delap launching it in.
I mean, it was like a kick. It was unbelievable.
It was better than a kick because it was that flat and that.
It was the trajectory of it.
Yeah. We definitely came a couple of times.
They had Arsenal's number big time.
Oh, they did, didn't they? Yeah.
They beat up the soft Arsenal side, unfortunately. But is that what that's what Paul Lambert was going for, was he? That sort of style team.
No, I think he was trying to pick up the footballers from the lower leagues, and like the ones that I'm trying to think who they were now. Like Matt Loughton was one of them. He's actually gone on to have a pretty decent Premier League and Championship career. Ashley Westwood was another. Jordan Bowery was another, but he was really like I think everybody thought that was never going to work.
Matt Loughton was from Chesterfield as well. His brother goes to the away games every now and then.
I used to tweet his brother quite a lot.
Yeah.
He's
angry at him.
That was weird. Yeah.
Oh, the brother tweeting. This is a bit of a tangent, but a segue. Whose brother was tweeting at the Masters and then the Ryder Cup? Was it Danny Willett's? Danny Willett's brother.
I've never heard the story.
What was he tweeting? Bad things.
Yeah, Danny Willett's brother steals spotlight on Twitter after Masters 2016 victory.
I know that was the year that Spieth melted down, didn't he? And I think it's that 2016 Spieth had a meltdown. And
it was, Spieth's, Spieth's lining up his putt. If I'm quick, I can get a beer, go to the toilet, and paint the spare room before he hits it.
Yes, I do vaguely remember about him moaning about speed of play generally. Yeah,
imagine doing that about your own brother at the Masters. I mean, pace of play is shocking though.
And on every single tweet, he's done #BBC Golf.
Has he? I love that. Yeah. That's really
just downed in one. Work will understand. Behave yourself, Spieth. And he's holding a Tattinger champagne bottle.
That's really funny.
Yeah, 2016, 8 years ago. That makes me feel old. That's a hell of a segue. Masters.
My favourite weekend of the year for golf by an absolute country mile.
When is it?
It's next weekend, not week on Thursday it starts, but you get the practice days, obviously Monday, Tuesday. You get the par 3 contest on the Wednesday. And then I do not move Thursday through Sunday.
No, same. It's my mum's favourite golf tournament of the year.
I get that. I feel like it is one for the mums.
Yeah. The beautiful azaleas. Well, no, it's the beautiful azaleas and Amen Corner.
Yeah.
I don't know if it actually is. Dad, if you're listening, ask Mum. She'll probably say it is.
Just trying to name drop your mum during that. I generally have for the Masters, it's like the one tournament I'll sit there and listen to all the previews as well. Like, especially now you have all the live guys coming back in.
They've been invited, have they?
Well, there's only the live guys that have exemptions through either major wins. Obviously, you've got Rahm that won it.
World rankings too, right?
Yeah, a lot of them don't have it though because they're falling that quickly. But like Rahm won it last year. Obviously, Mickelson's won it. I think Brooks Koepka gets in from his US Open win. There's a guy called Joaquin Neiman. He got a special invite for being in that good form. And Bryson, obviously, DeChambeau's there. So, yeah, it's the first time we'll get to see those guys up against each other. The weird thing is we've seen Scheffler just destroying people for weeks, but no one knows how John Rahm's playing because no one's really seen him. So
that's true.
It'll be interesting to see.
That's going to be good. And we've not mentioned Rory. Which round will Rory capitulate in? I'm going to go round 1 and he's just going to not do that.
Yeah.
No, I fancy him to be, flying on Friday and then have an iffy Saturday, but still be in and around it and then have an absolute nothing Sunday.
The thing is, he's usually out of it by Saturday and has a great Sunday and finishes like Tom.
Oh, yeah, true. He has done that a couple of times, yeah.
It really annoys me. But I think the one I'll watch religiously will be Tiger. I just want to see how he does. He's not played any
play.
Yeah, he's in the field at the moment. They say he was doing a scouting trip yesterday or
no point. There's no point. It's like Andy Murray's farewell tour this year.
Yeah,
he's just doing all of the majors this year, so he'll do all of the
did he not beat a ranked player last time? Top 30.
Yeah, I mean he's played 100 ranked players in the last year, so him beating a ranked player one of those times isn't really a claim to fame anymore.
I'll always cheer these guys in.
I didn't even really know he was still going until I heard that he's got a bad injury, hasn't he?
He's got a metallic hip, hasn't he?
But that was previous.
I think that's what.
I mean, we could still be talking about Tiger or Andy Murray.
Oh yeah, I'm on about Murray. What are you on about?
I'm on about Murray as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's.
He had hip replacement.
Yeah, I know about that one. But a few weeks ago, he got I think it's a bad knee injury, and he kept playing or something. I'm trying to just figure it out now. But latest injury, he ruptured ankle ligaments in the Miami Open, and this is dated 1st of April. So
okay,
sounds like his body's just giving up on him a little bit.
I mean, why is he still playing?
Cash, and he loves it.
It can't be about cash. It can't be money.
It's got to be an internal drive to try and play, though. It's his whole life, isn't it? What does he do after it? It's not like you get a great media career in tennis.
Man, just sit in that little basement booth at Wimbledon once a year, do the commentary.
Yeah, but Hedman's already locked that one down. What's he going to do?
I feel like
I feel like when Murray's done, it's Murray's.
Yeah, if Murray comes down and says, "I quite fancy that job," actually, then he's out.
Yeah, but Hedman's got a bit of Murray's got a little bit, but Hedman's a great TV personality now. I just don't know if you could say the same that Murray.
I don't think he is. I think he's boring. I don't think there's any character there at all. Sorry, Tim. I know you're a listener.
Yeah, big listener.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we were talking about Rory's rounds. So Rory's rounds is interesting. Is it natural talent, or does he have the mental resilience, or what we're going back to, the bounce back ability, the theme of the pod? Does Rory have bounce back ability, or is he just like he's naturally so good and he just doesn't have the mental edge? So it's not that he recovers well; it's just that he can't maintain it mentally.
My reading is, and we'll get James's expert opinion in a second. But
we've got another James coming on the
podcast. My thing that is pure conjecture is that he just struggles to do it. He struggles to turn it round when the pressure's on, and then when the pressure's off, because of his natural talent, he is able to play really well. He
won't ever win a Masters, will he?
Do you want the expert opinion, or
yes, please?
It's not expert opinion at all, but my opinion on Rory is he comes into the Masters every year with so much pressure on him because it's the one that he needs to complete the Grand Slam, and everyone hypes him up about how well he's played or blah, 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 and he comes in and the expectation's too high for him. Until he's like 45, 50 and no one's thinking he's going to win it, I just can't see it happening.
That's so close.
Yeah.
A few times, wasn't he?
I just can't see something like that happening again, though. They say, like Tiger, he was on about wanting to play once a month before the Masters, and he's played 18 holes. So you'll probably see a withdrawal from him.
Yeah.
Which is upsetting to see. But, I'll be listening to all the podcasts over the next week, and next week I'll have more Masters insights for you from other people.
Wait, any golf pods you listen to?
I like No Laying Up. Some American guys. I do a bit of Rick Shields, who's the UK golf influencer YouTuber, and then a bit of Peter Finch as well. Every now and then, a little bit of all of it.
Foreplay is not bad.
Foreplay's not bad. I like the odd foreplay bit. I do like the YouTube videos they do, so I'll probably watch more of that. They seem to have it on absolute lock, though. They get such good access. That's all the video with Tiger Woods.
They did a thing with Woods not that long ago. They did like a long drive competition with Woods.
Yeah, I thought he'd be like against some of the stuff because he's made comments about people who watch too much YouTube videos about golf, but he rocked up and he was like super pally with them.
There was one guy who was particularly pally with, and I don't know if there's some history there. Or
the guy called Trent, I think, is his name, and he's like a YouTube golfer that's never broken 90. And
I've watched a lot of that. Yeah. Well, I say I've watched a lot of that. I watched the first 10 minutes, and then it's just like hopefully obvious that he's not gonna.
It's not happening.
No.
But then he walks up, and some guy makes a joke about, "Oh, you're in Sunday Red for it." He goes, "Yeah, it's all part of the image." Like he just proper like buys into it. He seems to relax quite a lot. I love all the Tiger stuff I do now.
The Tiger in that video absolutely nails one off his knees.
They're doing like a long drive contest, Matt. All these guys have gone first, and that Tiger goes, "Yeah, I can beat that." Like thinking he'd do it easy, gets onto his knees on the ground and still hits it past them.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's got to be upsetting.
Next on bounce back ability, Boston Celtics.
You're going to do it again. You've said,
"Hey, it's the pods." Yeah, I said I wasn't going to talk about it. I want to talk about it, though. They go on a run, and then every time we talk about their winning streak, winning 10, winning 9, they last week lost 2 on the bounce to the Atlanta Hawks, who I think may have got their number, unfortunately. But we're nearly, yeah.
Are they going to make it to the postseason?
They have one today.
Hawks will. Yeah, they played this morning. Midnight.
We're a Boston Celtics only team on this pod.
Yeah.
59 and 60.
I mean, pick a team by all means. Milwaukee Bucks probably worth a shout this year. If you're a LeBron James fan, then probably LA Lakers.
Yeah, the Bucks are owned by Wes Edens, who is also a partial owner of Villa. So
smart man.
I see.
But yeah, we've just got 12 days to go. So the last game of the in-season is on the 14th of April.
12 days to go, so about 14 games for each team.
Yeah, something like that. I think it's only 7. And they play like 3 in the last 3 days. So, it's going to be good. When we record that week, we'll know who's going to be in the post-season. So maybe we can do some predictions and pick some teams and have a bit of fun with that.
We should move into a watch-along segment where me and Joel try and understand what's happening on a basketball pitch.
I just keep saying pick 'em right.
I mean, yeah, you saying basketball pitch hurts.
Cool. Yeah, that's poor. Basketball.
Yeah. That hurt my ears a little bit.
My big basketball knowledge is watching the Michael Jordan documentary and the Hustle film. That's about it.
The Michael Jordan documentary?
Yeah, the what's it called?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a film with Adam Sandler on Netflix
where he discovers some Spanish guy or something.
Spanish guy, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was like, yeah, maybe.
Have you watched Air?
Yeah, I enjoyed that actually. To be fair, that was really good.
Very good. Didn't think I was gonna like that. Yeah. For a few reasons, but yeah, thought it was really, really good.
What were the reasons?
I don't know.
Don't like Matt Damon.
Jordan, I was like, it can't be a film about Michael Jordan if he's not in it.
Yeah, I was a bit like that, and I was a bit like, I just thought I knew it. I just thought I knew the story. I wasn't expecting to be surprised by any of it. And yeah, because I actually did my dissertation on his deal with Nike. So I thought I knew it all, but actually, yeah, I learned lots. It would have been really handy if I was still writing my dissertation.
I'm doing some of this. I don't know if you've read it, but I'm currently going through the Phil Knight autobiography, Shoe Dog, and that's really good. I've only read like 50 pages so far. Yeah, but there's a lot more in it about like he's got like quite a track background and why he started Nike and all that stuff. I'd recommend it if you were into the film at all.
There you go. All Sports Podcast Book Club. Our next book is
Shoe Dog.
Phil Knight. All right, Bouncebackability. Up next, rugby. So we spoke about the international break, the Six Nations break for rugby, and I said 75 days off. It's going to be a season of 2 halves, like either side of the Six Nations. So what happened first week? Obviously, half the teams lost, half the teams won. But then this last weekend, second game back, all but one of the teams that lost all won.
Really?
Complete reverse.
Absolute complete reversal. Some of it, I think, is definitely like bounce back ability. Some of it was mismatches. And then also I think some teams like saving their players because they've got European rugby comes back next week as well. And it's knockout rugby now. So it's a similar stage to the football season in terms of European knockouts. So it seems like teams are just picking like their home games to put all of their eggs in one basket and go for that one. But it's meant that there's been some absolute trouncing. There's been some close games too. But there were some absolute trouncings again this weekend, similar to last weekend. I mean, Harlequins were the pod's favourite team. Were 40 points to 3 up against Bath just shortly into the second half. And then Bath scored 33 unanswered points to come back to lose 36-40.
Oh, wow.
So that had me on the edge of my seat a little bit concerned.
Pod's favourite team as a former Saracen season holder. I can't comply with that.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be in the league because they cheated. So
they've already relegated once and they've come back up.
Yeah,
so they've served their punishment.
Yeah,
I don't know. Harlequins fans thrown around. Oh, your team's cheated. It's fairly rich, isn't it?
It is, unless you don't know that is a reference to the Bloodgate scandal. I wasn't at Harlequins at that time. I'm pleased to say it was an embarrassing period in Harlequins' journey. But
look, they've shown bounce-backability, and here they are now.
Yeah. So Quins did bounce back, and you could actually see. And I think so. One of the things I was going to say about this is I think that bounce back ability in a contact sport is easier to do and show than it is in a more tactical sport. Like I think football probably is. I think physicality and intent is easier to show. Like physical dominance is easier to show in rugby than it is in football. Because I think rugby you win the physical contest, and that's you're then on the front foot and you can dictate play. Whereas with football, like the tactics and the skill level come first before the intent. You can do high press and you can be up for it, but yeah, I don't know. Discuss.
I actually think, and I might annoy a few people with this, I think the skill gap is higher in football than it is in rugby. So in rugby, 15 blokes out there who are willing to put their body on the line and run 80 minutes and run themselves into the ground, you're going to get a good go of it. You're going to get ball. You're going to get chances. Whereas in rugby, you can have the most physical National League team that come up against City, but they'll be chasing shadows for 90 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know if it's there's a little bit more nuance to football. Like I don't know if it's true, but my feeling is that there's more kind of ways that teams play.
I think so.
So and yeah, like I think that skill level is a big factor. But I do think like when the skill levels are more even, physicality is still a huge factor. Like more so than tactics. Probably it's something that you still see it in the Premier League when like mid-table teams come up against each other, or there's a bit of a relegation 6 points or whatever. Like the physicality is still a huge factor, but rather than those moments of quality, and in the Football League, I still think that's generally true as well. I'd say in the Championship it's changing a little bit, and it's the way that the coaches are working now, and because teams are going down who have very good players, I'll be interested to see what happens with Ipswich are a bit of an example at the moment in terms of like how are they going to play next season. Like Luton have been an example this season as well, and Luton have had to really like figure it out on the fly, really not really expecting to be in the Premier League. And do you go with trying to build a football team, or do you get some big fellas in who can clog up the pitch a little bit for you?
Problem is,
yeah, go on, James.
Burnley last year sort of passed the Championship to death. They played unbelievable football, tried to do it in the Premier League, even though they were that good in the Championship, and they've struggled. They probably adapted a little bit in the last few weeks, and they're not trying as many ticky-tacky kind of football, and they're going a little bit more direct at times. If Ipswich try it, they could get killed.
Is that Ipswich's style then? Is that how they play?
It's lovely football. Yeah, they've got two holding midfielders, Sam Morsey and Massimo Luongo. I think Morsey used to play for us, so I'm a big Sam Morsey fan. But they are like passing it out from the centre halves. They'll invite a bit of pressure on and then push on he's the left fullback that people keep saying should play for England. Leif Davis. They try that in the Prem without some upgrades. They're going to be in trouble. They've got the Wales striker, Kiefer Moore. He plays up front for
a good pickup for them, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been good in the Championship, but I don't know if he'd have enough goals to keep them up in the Prem.
Well, they leak a lot of goals, don't they?
Ipswich. Yeah, they do. I mean, they've got like the 16th or 15th highest budget in the Championship in their top. So I was actually listening to TalkSport earlier, and there was a director of football on who was talking to who's the owner of Peterborough. Barry Fry is the director of football. He was talking about basically, and he was saying that when Ivan Toney came up from Peterborough and Brentford signed him, I think it was West Brom or maybe Forest. One of those two was going in for him, and they said, right, 10 million quid. They're quite put off by the price, but could a League One player score 20 goals to keep them up in the Premier League? And they went against it because they didn't think he could. I was like, those teams are going to have to make those decisions. What strikers will keep them in the Prem the year after? I don't think Keith Moore will do it for Ipswich.
Watch this space.
I really hope they go up. They're
Keith Moore, you are welcome to come on for a rebuttal as well. We want to give everyone a fair chance to give a response when James slags them off.
Nah, me and Keith are close.
Going to do your quiz.
I've only got a couple of questions. We've got a couple of questions and then we'll wrap up. Yeah, so we spoke a little bit about the private jets last week. So I did have a little look and I found some quite interesting things about one Premier League. We spoke about Arsenal taking the plane, 40-minute flight from London City to Norwich. What, Joel, do you think the average length of time of a Premier League flight to away fixtures is in the UK?
35 minutes.
No, it is 44 minutes.
44 minutes, yeah. And they save how much time by doing it?
So yeah, that's the funny thing, Joel. They only save an hour versus the average length coach journey to get to the away games.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some science behind it with the seats that they get and not being cooped up on a coach and whatever.
I was actually, after we were talking about it last week, I was looking up a story about Sean Dyche was telling about Dan Juma at Everton was flying an 8-minute private jet from Manchester to Liverpool to get to training.
Jesus.
8 minutes.
And he can't even get a game. So
get a game, yeah. So he's
Could he not take a helicopter? He'd probably get better access on a helicopter.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, there must be a private airport in Cheshire somewhere, surely, where all the Manchester players are based. 8 minutes just seems ludicrous, though. By the time you've gone up, seats done, your seatbelt's on.
Yeah, by the time you're up, you're down. Surely, what altitude is he?
I think I can't remember who was telling the story. Someone was telling it. I saw it as a YouTube short or something about Michael Owen getting a helicopter. He'd get a helicopter to Newcastle. I'm sure it was Michael Owen. I may be wrong.
No, I think that sounds vaguely familiar. The famous one is Winston Bogart at Chelsea, isn't it? He was on an absolute packet and used to commute from Holland.
Yeah, do it if you can. Isn't that what wasn't Messi doing that? Messi was still staying in Barca and was just getting a flight across to Paris every day.
Sounds likely, yeah.
Yeah.
Needs to be some sort of limit on it.
Does that?
I'm drinking out of paper straws at McDonald's, and these blokes are flying 8.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem not enough.
Well, one of the world's biggest commercial sporting events, the Super Bowl. Guess how many private jets went into Las Vegas for the Super Bowl, for the Taylor Swift Bowl this year?
500 at least.
882 private jets.
Here's your segue. So speaking of rugby, NFL, how do you think your Welsh Lewis Rees-Zammit, will he get a snap? Will he play any minutes? Do you think?
I don't know, honestly.
So signing for the Kansas City, so the reigning Super Bowl champs. The cynic in me says social media play.
But I don't think, and you're not the first person that said that to me this week, because other people think it's similar. But I think the biggest thing for Kansas City Chiefs is their audience growth is looking at millions of fans. I think a Welsh region rugby football union player coming in on international pathway isn't moving the needle on the fan base. Honestly,
You say that though, but how much prioritisation does the NFL put on the UK? Like they play games here over here now. They have NFL UK socials. They're trying to tap into that.
Yeah,
market.
they want the whole UK audience.
Yeah.
But do you know who they want as the UK audience? They want football fans, the millions of football fans, not the 100,000 rugby fans. Like the rugby base is not big, so you'll get a bit of interest from rugby fans, and they'll follow it a little bit, but. Are they going to be NFL converts? Possibly not. But anyway, so how will he do in terms of game time? A couple of reasons that he could do okay is he's got versatility, one as a running back, two as a wide receiver, but then also to make the game flow more and have less stoppages, they're now doing punt returns. So you can't take a safe catch on a punt return. You now have to return the ball up the field, and he is perfect at that. Taking a high ball, it is a specialist skill in rugby that you do as one of the back three players, one of the two wingers or the fullback that he's been doing for his whole career, and is very good at it. So he's going to be sprinting an open play, running back through players. So yeah, I think like that gives him more opportunity now that he can be a punt returner, as well as a running back or a wide receiver. So I think he's got more opportunity to break through because of that. But it's, just incredibly competitive. So we'll see. And he's going into the highest performing team in the league over the last arguably 2 years.
Probably younger than that now. That punt return rule you were mentioning is, like I said, it's perfect for a winger who's used to clearing a ball up high and 15 blokes running at him. I wouldn't say I'm like the biggest confessed rugby fan ever, but I'm interested to see how he does in the NFL. I think that'd be pretty cool for someone to transition sports. Don't see it a lot in.
Yeah, I think anybody who tries to do it, it's interesting to see how they do.
Definitely,
it is. Yeah, transition to other sports is quite. That'll be a pod on its own. There's a few. There's a few ones like in terms of rowing and cycling that have happened. That are pretty famous in terms of Olympians that we could touch on. Maybe we'll do a little bit of a touch on that as we get a little bit closer to the Paris Olympics in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
If the pod can last that long.
Hey.
We're just getting into our stride.
Now we are halfway through. We're halfway through season 1. We'll probably do 10 episodes, have a couple of week break, and then go again for season 2. I think that sounds pretty reasonable, doesn't it? Doing 10 episode sprints.
No complaints from me, no.
Yeah.
We'll have to get a special 10th episode special going on. Who do we bring on? Do we get a guest?
AJ could come back.
Yeah.
AJ's returning.
Good luck getting his diary.
Cool. I think that will pretty much wrap it then for today. We can save some bits for next week. We'll probably talk about the Masters next week, a little bit on that international cricket selection, one dayers versus test team. And much, much more. If you want to get involved, contact us at allsportspods@gmail.com. Like and subscribe this episode. Rate it 5-star on Spotify. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, Joel.
Cheers, Matt.
Cheers, James.
Cheers, guys.